Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I thought I would do a tour of my makeup collection, a very general overview, because if I were to really dive into everything we would be here for hours and hours and hours. So I figure I'm just gonna give you a cursory overview and also show you how I organize all of my stuff, because you know what? There's a lot of it. Honestly, sometimes I'm embarrassed to share this with others because it is a little bit overwhelming, the amount of stuff that I actually have. If I didn't have this YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't have a quarter of the things that I have behind me. So nobody should have to feel pressure to buy anything, but this is just stuff that I have accumulated over a number of years. You guys always see this in my background, and now it's time to share with you what actually sits in these acrylic cases. So without any further ado, let's dive into my makeup collection. As you guys can see, this here is my whole vanity setup. I also have a stack of drawers there, right back here and downwards, and also underneath my desk I have another stack of drawers. But this is generally what my vanity looks like. And if I were to zoom you in a smidge, you'll see that there is tons of stuff just stored everywhere. Lots and lots of products. And of course, I can't have a complete vanity without my light up mirror. It was on sale at Bed Bath & Beyond. I used a 20% off coupon and I picked it up, and I can't live without this bad boy. Here is a close-up of what is actually on my tabletop. On this side over here, I usually keep palettes that I'm currently trying and playing around with, and right now I am playing with the Emily Edit palettes. I always have makeup wipes on hand. I really love the Clean and Clear makeup wipes. These are a staple and they are always sitting in the corner. Brushes are always lying around. I actually use both of these to apply my Tatcha primer, but we'll get to that in a second. I have 3 tubs over here that keep all of my brushes. Anything that I use regularly sits on top of my vanity. So as you can see, I've got my highlighter, bronzer, my blushes, my moisturizer. Back here I've got another primer, moisturizer, mask, a bunch of skincare, and other utensils that I tend to use regularly. I have my go-to foundations, which also sit in this corner, of course next to that dirty beauty blender. Moving right along, this top shelf here contains all of the skincare that I use on a regular basis. So as you can see, I love using the Blue Tansy mask, my Tiger Grass serum. I've been loving this new eye serum from Drunk Elephant. I like this Tatcha firming serum. I've got some stuff from Laneige that I've been using, and of course my Bioderma cleansing micellar water. Unless otherwise stated, all of these acrylic cases I did pick up from Muji. They have fantastic, really durable cases. In this one here, I sort of have a bunch of miscellaneous items, but they're mostly all of my liquid highlighters. I've also got a couple of eyeshadow palettes back there. This random bronze booster palette from Physicians Formula. This next case over here does contain a bunch of skincare samples. This is stuff that I like to use in addition to eye drops. This is stuff that I like to throw into my skincare routine when I need a little something different and when I want to toy around with some new items. So that's what sits in there. Over here is my lash drawer, and in here are the lashes that I like to use most frequently. It's just convenient to have them right on my vanity because the bulk of them actually sit in that bottom drawer over there. On top of this acrylic case and to the side, I do have all of my setting sprays. These are the ones that I use on a regular basis. I also have a bunch of Z palettes and the Jaclyn Hill palette that are all stored in the back over there. Let's talk stock drawer number 1. This is actually one of my favorite drawers to look at just because it is filled with a bunch of different glitters and pigments. As you can see, I've got tons of glitters from Lit Cosmetics. I also have a crap ton of MAC pigments, Wet n Wild pigments. They're all stored in there. There's something from Smolder Cosmetics. And on this side here, I have all of the glitter that already has a primer attached to it. So all of my Stila shadows, I've got my Urban Decay heavy metal glitter thingy, whatever you call them, they're all sitting in here, in addition to a bunch of metallic shadows. As you can see, there's just tons of liquid glitter shadows sitting in this drawer, and I thought I would keep it all centralized into one area. If we move up a drawer, we have a bunch of blushes. So in here, let me get that a little bit further away. I've got a crap ton of blushes just stored in here. Everything from Marc Jacobs, Milani, there's NYX and Jouer blushes in there. If we keep moving up, I've got more blushes. All of my Hourglass ambient lighting blushes are in there, H&M. I also have my Essence and Wet n Wild blushes. Next door to that, I've got a bunch of MAC blushes, all my Becca stuff, more Essence blushes, and Physicians Formula. And moving right along, that one always gets stuck. I have my Makeup Revolution blushes. There is another MAC blush and more Physicians Formula. Continuing our journey upwards, I've got a bunch of eyeliners in here. As you can see, my Tom Ford sits right at the top because it is the one that I reach for most regularly. But I've got tons of kohl liners in there, liquid liners, you name it, they all sit in here. Up here, I have all of my powders. So these are regular face powders as well as bronzers, and same goes for up here. These are mostly face powders, and then I threw this bronzer up here because I really didn't know where else to put it at the moment. And at the very top, I do have a couple of face palettes. There's the Benefit Cheek Parade, and I've got some Becca palettes as well. That is the Chrissy Teigen collaboration, and of course, the Jaclyn Hill collaboration. Next to that acrylic tower, I do have a lipstick storage container. As you can see, I've got tons of Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks. There's stuff from Lorac back there, Carol Baker, Kat Von D, Marc Jacobs, Morphe, you name it, it all sits there. Shifting over, I have more lipstick trays that all sit up here. As you can see, there is a variety of lipsticks. What I've actually recently done is moved all of the corresponding lip liners. These are mostly Kylie liquid lipsticks over here with their appropriate liquid lipstick, and I've done the same with my ColourPop liquid lipstick. So I moved all of the corresponding lip liners there. So like I said, tons of them, and they're all stored up here so I can see them and easily reach for them. In this drawer here, I have all of my brow products. So as you can see, yoink, everything is stored in here, from my Ka-Brow to my CoverGirl brow thing. I've also got my favorite Carol Baker brow extender in here as well. So basically everything that is brows is in here. Right beneath that, I have my A-list concealers. So these are all of the concealers that I like to use on a regular basis. So those stay nice and close. And just beneath that, I have my B-roll concealers. All of these concealers here are basically my B-list. They're either backups of concealers that are in my A-list or concealers that I just don't reach for on a regular basis. But all of those do sit there. Moving right along to this drawer here, this is all about mascaras. So all of the mascaras I own are sitting in this little bin here. It's everything from samples to full sizes. This is the bin that I love the most and probably use the most on a regular basis. Just above that, I do have all of my lip liners. This drawer here contains a bunch of Bite Beauty mini lipsticks, as well as just mini lipsticks from a bunch of different brands. I didn't know where else to really put these except this little drawer here, so it's kind of a lipstick junk drawer. This drawer over here just contains some skincare foundations that I've played with. It's kind of the testing drawer, so whatever I currently want to play around with and don't really know where else to put it, it kind of gets shoved in there at the moment. Same goes for the drawer right above it. I just kind of put a bunch of different things in here that I've been toying around with, some new lip glosses, the face palettes that I actually use pretty frequently. I don't know why those are there. Probably just didn't have another spot to put them. In this drawer here, I have my Natasha Denona 5-pan palettes. So all of these ones, there we go. All of these ones are stored in here for quick convenience because I find I do reach for them pretty regularly. And in these two drawers over here, I have a bunch of H&M eyeshadows. I actually really like all of these eyeshadows. I've been playing around with them for a while, and so I thought they deserve their own acrylic case, especially because the packaging is so cute. As you can see, all of these acrylic cases sit on top of this large plastic bin, and in here, let me show you what I got. In drawer number 1, I've got a bunch of foundations. So this is where I store some of the foundations that are usually top shelf for me, but that I'm not reaching for at the moment. So these are usually interchangeable with the ones that I currently have on top of my vanity. The next drawer is another bit of a graveyard makeup drawer. So this is stuff that I've used in the past that I enjoy using. I just don't know where to quite organize it in the immediate future. So that's why it just kind of sits in here for the moment. I'm now gonna bring you over to this gigantic storage tower as well. As you can see, on top of it is a bunch of lipsticks. I love this carousel here. I've got some Kylie lipsticks up top with lip liners, and then as you can see, a variety of different lipsticks that just kind of sit here and have their home. For me, drawer number 1 is always the most exciting to look at because this is where I have all of my ColourPop eyeshadows. I also have some JCat Beauty shadows in there as well. I did get a suggestion from a subscriber. Stephanie actually said that I can put these in ice cube trays that I can get from the dollar store, but I thought I would skip on that because I actually like seeing all of the colors laid out like this. It forces me to use them a little bit more. So that's drawer number 1. Drawer number 2 is another eyeshadow drawer. Surprise, surprise. This one here does contain a bunch of different glitters. These are all of the eye candy glitters that I've picked up. There's Essence shadows, Morphe pigments in here, shadows from Lorac, Sephora. There's Korra's eyeshadows. There's also MAC eyeshadows in here, glitters from Sigma, Tarte shadows, you name it. This is another basically shadow graveyard. The third drawer down is all of my loose powders. This is where they all sit. The drawer below all of the loose powders is the highlighter drawer. And as you can see, I have a bit of a problem. So I have way more highlighters than I could ever use in my entire life, which is why I feel like I should be banned from buying any highlighters until I use all of these up. Beneath that drawer, I have another foundation drawer. Now these are all foundations that I've used in the past, that I continue to use. Some are backups, some are foundations that I haven't gotten around to throwing away yet, but I certainly still need to go through this drawer and chuck the things that I no longer need. Beneath that, I have another drawer of lipsticks. What else? These lipsticks basically didn't fit anywhere else, so I thought I would just give them a designated drawer, and that's what that is. Underneath that, I do have a drawer that is filled with eyeshadow palettes that I tend to reach for pretty frequently. me. And the same goes for the drawer beneath that. These are other palettes that I tend to use quite regularly. The bottom drawer over here is filled with a bunch of different lashes. So this is where I store primarily my high-end lashes. These are the ones that I like to use quite frequently. I have another stack of drawers over here and a plastic bin that sits on top of them. Of course, I've got another tray over here of MAC lipsticks. There's ColourPop lipsticks and Annabelle, a jar that contains some backup Q-tips, makeup remover, and my Cinema Secrets brush cleaner. I've got a random Laneige foundation thing back there, and that little Bulgari box right there contains all of my Sephora receipts, which I will not show you because there's just a lot. In this drawer here, I do have all of the primers that I like to use on a regular basis. I've also got some extra cotton pads that I use to wipe my face down at the end of the night. And I've got other sponges that I like to use over here. So everything is just within close proximity. The drawer right next to it is a bit of a free-for-all as well. I'm really sorry that it's not translating very nicely at the moment. You know, something that's organized, but it's just got a ton of shit in there. Lip scrub, setting sprays, you name it, stuff is in here. This first drawer here is all about, oh, there we go, drugstore lipsticks. So there are a ton of lipsticks in here. This is where I keep all of the lipsticks that wouldn't fit in any other acrylic case. So still accessible, but just tucked away a little bit. And yes, they are all cataloged in an Excel sheet, as are all of my high-end lipsticks, which are in the drawer right beneath it. So again, as you can see, I've got tons of lipsticks. Some are still in boxes. Others I've used that are just sitting in here. Beneath that drawer, I have a huge drawer of eyeshadow palettes. I don't know if you guys can actually see how deep this drawer goes. I really don't want to take out too many of the eyeshadow palettes, but there is a ton of them in here. I don't obviously use all of these eyeshadows on a regular basis, but they are there as part of my collection. And that last drawer down here is basically a skincare drawer. So this is where I keep backups of certain skincare that I like, samples of things that I want to try out. There's masks in here, sprays. I don't know, this random Morphe blush brush that's sitting in there as well. But yeah, there's a MAC Fix Plus. It certainly looks like a bit of a junk drawer, but I know exactly what's in here. It's skincare. And lastly, there is this stack of purple drawers. This actually sits underneath my vanity, but for right now, I have just pulled it out so you guys can see it. This first drawer, again, is just eyeshadow palettes. So it's palettes galore. I think that is probably the one thing that I tend to hoard above all else. Another drawer of eyeshadow palettes. These are primarily my Morphe palettes. I think I've got my JCat palettes in here as well, and a couple of Essence palettes. And then we have the bottom drawer, which, to be honest with you, is just sheet masks. So it is every type of sheet mask that you can possibly imagine. That is everything that is currently on my vanity and underneath it. I'm now gonna take you to the other side of my room where I also have additional makeup storage as well as my nail polishes and perfumes. And over here is my dresser. There's me with my tripod. I've got more storage cases over here, my perfumes that sit on top, and then there's a bunch of hair care stuff that we are gonna dive into in just a second. Oh, and nail polish. Let's start with the nail polish section. So I've got some nail care stuff down here. I've got some ride or die nail polishes. Those all kind of sit up top here. These are colors that I love to use on a regular basis. Love my OPIs, SEs, Formula X when it was available at Sephora. And I do really love this Dior polish in particular. I don't have any other ones from the brand because it's just really expensive, but this color is stunning. Back here I have a big vase that's filled with more nail nail polishes, mini nail polishes in this stacked acrylic case over here. And then in this jar over here, there's more deeper, darker nail polishes. And in this little container, I've got all of my clear top coats, my base coats, all of that good stuff. My vlog camera also happens to have a home over here. I shall move that aside for a second. I do have some nail polish remover here, all of my hair care products that I use regularly. I love the Davines line. You won't really catch me using much else because it just works so well with my hair. I also have some stuff from DCM over here that I have yet to get to. There's a backup of some Murad body spray. I've got additional perfumes back here that I am replenishing, deodorant, more brushes. My Clairsonic is over here. I have some hair brushes, this cute little whale container, and some nail files. And then up top over here, I've got my Bum Bum cream. This is my travel size that I like to take with me whenever I'm going places, and a bunch of different perfumes. I do like all of these scents, not that I wear them regularly, but they do get good use from me. These two top drawers here actually used to be over at my vanity, which is over there, but I moved them over here just to make a little more space over there. The top drawer here does contain backups of a lot of things, lots of Tarte Shape Tape, bronzers, eyeliner, guiding tape, MAC powders. I've got my RCMA powders here. You name it, there's a backup of something in that drawer. I've got my masks down here and some moisturizers. I've got more foundations on this side as well as a skin exfoliant. Oh gosh, more masks here, some rollerball perfumes, skincare, and more sponges in the back. And then this drawer here contains my beauty blenders, some other hair care stuff, and yeah, more hair care stuff. That was pretty much it. I really hope you guys enjoy touring my makeup collection, seeing everything that is normally behind me when you watch my videos. If you enjoyed this video, you guys know exactly what to do. Give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. You guys can also connect with me on all of my social media. I will make sure to link all of that for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.